Good morning, everyone. This is going to be an introduction to Google Slides and how to manipulate Google Slides itself, how to create new slides, how to create things within slides. And we also are going to do an in-depth tutorial of manipulating a current slide that we got from PowerPoint. With me today, I have Mr. Bill Geating, who is a 35 or 36 year teacher from Garnet Valley School District. And then he just did one additional year at the Oxford School District as a math teacher. He's done PowerPoints a lot in the past, and he is currently building a PowerPoint for a sermon that he is going to be preaching on at a local church here. And what I'm planning on doing today is not only teaching him, but also teaching all of you the very basics of Google Slides, and then we'll show some small advanced tips and techniques as we go forward. So we're here in the new tab page where you're just going to press that plus sign there and it's going to create a new tab. And then in the top right corner, you'll see Google Apps. And you could either slide to Google Drive where you can create a new one, or you can slide down to where you see Google Slides here. We'll go to Google Drive just to show you how that works. After you click on Google Drive, you can go into the top left where it says New and click New. And then right here, you can see Google Slides. And if you click on that, it's going to create a brand new template. But if we were to go press that plus sign, create a new tab, we press the little 9 application dots in the corner. This will do the same exact thing for you, but it'll just jump you immediately to slides. It also will show you all the slides you've ever done before. And then you can just press the plus sign with a new blank slide. So when you create a blank slide, the first thing that I usually do is create a title for the presentation. Because one of the benefits of doing this in Google Slides is that it always saves. It's constantly saving, constantly wanting to help you out. And in order for you to find it later, you'd like to know what you are typing. So I'm just going to make this a test 1. And then that way, if I ever, I X'd out of it, I press the plus sign, I go back to my slides by pressing those dots. And then the good thing is it shows up here, but if it wasn't here, let's say it was very old and I wanted to search it, all I have to do is go to the go to the search bar and type in test. And that's where my slide is going to show up. And this is where it was before. And typically after I create my title, I'll either share it to somebody who I'm working with, and I'll show you that example right now. So just to dive into what I will be doing with Mr. Bill Geating here, I will go into the slides. I've already saved it. It is called the David and Goliath. So I click on David and Goliath, and as you can see, there's already a template here. There's already some information in here. What we did was we took his PowerPoint presentation, we saved it on his computer, then he emailed it to me, and I saved it on my Google Drive, and then we shared it with each other. That's another benefit of Google working on this Google slide. We can work on it together. Even right now, he has his laptop open so he can follow along. But if there's anything that he decides to change in the future, he can do it without me and he can make adjustments. And then if he has a question in the future and says, hey, Chris, how does my presentation look? I don't have to be on his computer and look at his PowerPoints. I can just do this from the internet. I can even do it from my phone if I have the Google Slide application on my phone. And I can really do it from anywhere. That's one of the additional benefits of Google Slides. And the way that we did that was by first clicking on share, and then I would type in his email. You could see our emails here. I have 2 of mine so that I could locate it from either one of my emails, my personal and my school email. And then we've included Bill's Gmail here. That's one of the only key portions to this, is that it must be a Gmail or a Google account. Hotmail or Comcast won't necessarily work. So you just would type in their name. If, again, I wanted to share it with Bill, I would start to type in Bill Geating, and it would show up with his name. He also has his old Garnet Valley account here too, because this is through my Garnet Valley account. Now, the first thing I want to show you just to get started is this fun little plus sign here. If you hit that, it's going to create a brand new slide. But something that Bill identified that he wanted to change was to change this background. This is an old background that he had from his PowerPoint presentation. We want to do that with all of them. Now, I want to show you how to do it with just one for the moment. You would right click it, and then right here you would see change background. You can change it to a blank white, or you can choose image. I typically like to just go with a blank color so that I can do anything I want to the slides and manipulate it any way that I want. If I choose an image, sometimes it's difficult to see a certain color from a text or see a certain picture. So if I just click done, if I go change background, I select the white background, it's going to change it, and I'll hit done. But I want to change that with every single one. So here's what I'm going to do. And this is how you get all of these together. You are going to click on one of them, hold shift, and then you will start to press the down arrow, and it will start to cover every single one you want to cover. Even if you go too far, oops, I went to 23 and I want to go back up, you can. It won't highlight 23 anymore, but we're going to do all of them. So I'm just going to hold the down arrow, and it's going to highlight every single one. I'm going to right click, change background. I'm going to select that white color and then hit done. Now, as you can see, every single one has changed to that white background, making it very easy for me to see everything that needs to be typed and show what needs to be manipulated in the background as we go forward. So next point I want to make, we have this extra slide that I made before by hitting that plus sign. If we want to delete it, you can either just press delete on your keyboard when it's highlighted, or right click, and then you will just click on delete. And forgive me, there it is, delete right there. So now we have all of these here. Let's use this first template as an example of how to change what we want. Bill, is there a desired color or something that you're looking for this text here?
Right. I wouldn't say as bold.
Maybe we can start with a blank background,
Yeah,
and then
there
we
you
can
go.
look into maybe throwing in some new updated kind of pizzazz. If that's too much, we can even throw some of these. This is quite a bold thing, but you notice I just highlighted it so I know what text I'm working with.
Yeah.
And then up here, you see all of the fonts that you can change it to. The really good thing about Google Slides is that it shows you exactly what that font will look like before you even do it. Even if you want to click on Creepster, you can see what Creepster looks like before you type it in. And the cool thing is, it shows you your recent. So if I used Bungee Shade, and then in a slide later on, I wanted to do Bungee Shade here again, I don't have to search for it. It's going to be in my recent section. So I could do it again. And that's one thing I really enjoy about it. Now we have David and Goliath here. If we wanted to change it to a different font, you can choose the font by clicking next to that one. We have a different size. We can also bold, italics, underline, everything that you've ever seen with regards to a document or any kind of work you've ever done on a laptop. Usually it's in the same order where you have the text font, the size, bold, italics, all of it is here. You also have the text color and then a highlight color. Really, if you just explore and hover over top of it, it'll tell you exactly what it does. So if we want to change the fill color, that's the background. I did that already. Before it was this color. I click and it's going to make it white. If I want to change the border, that's the border of this line here. If I want to change that and maybe match the David and Goliath, I can click on that. And now you can see that there is a distinct border. But what if we don't want that? We can just hit transparent and it's not going to show a border anymore. So we have David and Goliath. Bill, you want to make that bigger?
I do.
All right.
Get rid of the border.
So let's make it bigger. We've gotten rid of that border. Whoops, I went to the next slide. So we're going to click on this again. I want to make sure I highlight it. so that I know that I'm changing everything about it. If I don't highlight it, it's just going to change maybe that specific letter, or it's going to change that one thing. So we are working in this book of the Bible in this verse. And if we want to match what's above,
Yes.
again, we go to fill color. We want to make that transparent. We still have the same color here, but if we want to make it bungee again, we're going to click on bungee shade because that's already been identified. And finally, we can continue to make it a little bit bigger so everybody can see.
Get rid of the box.
And that box is just to highlight it. So we have the box here. You see it's like a faded blue. That shows that you're clicked on it. But you can always click away from it just to see if you have that outline. So we have this here. Now, if we want to add more text, okay, you can always go to here, File. You're going to click on Insert Text Box. So I would click Insert Text Box, and now you notice it changed my cursor, what my cursor looks like. It looks like a little plus sign instead of an arrow pointing at it. I'm going to make my text box, and then I can type in anything I want. I can just type in story, the story of David and Goliath. Now, same thing. I can highlight it, change the font if I want, change the size, all of these. But let's say, I don't want that anymore. I can just press delete or backspace, or like I did before with the slide, I can right click it as I go through. So we are slowly building in. We've got a really good website here. So this leads me to my next thing that I want to add into. So rather than just having this long website, if we want to use maybe one of these words that Bill has already typed in here as where we put the website so somebody could click on it, we are going to highlight what we want. Then we would hit this button here. This is called Insert Link. This is where you create a hyperlink. Now it's going to offer, what do you want to paste in here? Now, I didn't copy and paste what that URL was, so I'm going to highlight the URL first. And I like to hit Control C, but you can right click and do copy. Control C is just a hotkey command, makes it a little bit quicker. So then I highlight Christian Answers, hyperlink, and then I could paste it using Control V, or again, right clicking and clicking paste. So now I've applied it and I've made this Christian Answers as the URL link. So if somebody was to have this slide, they can click on Christian Answers and it's going to take them to this website rather than just having this website sit up here and maybe somebody trying to write it down. If Bill decides to share this slideshow with the congregation, they can see that this is a different link that they can click on rather than having all of this text here. Now, Bill in this has, if you ever see click to add title, there's a box here that can always just be deleted by clicking on the box and then pressing backspace. So we've gotten rid of that and there's nothing here there. So I also noticed that Bill has several images within his slideshow. So if you want to add any additional images, maybe let's go back to this first slide and we want to add a picture of David and Goliath. Obviously, first we would have to search and maybe find something online. And you have multiple options to add it into your slides. So Bill, is there a favorite that you have here that you'd like to add to that title screen?
Oh, we'll go with that one.
You like this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can click on that. Now you have two options. Option number one, the one that I like, very simple, just copy image. If I click copy image, I go back to my slideshow, and all I have to do is paste that image, and that's going to come in here. The second option that you have, if you really like this photo and you want to keep it on your computer, you can right click and then you can save image as. By clicking on that, that's going to bring up a new file folder, and this is where you can save that picture for good and you can hang on to it for future use. Let's actually go through that example. We're going to click Save Image As. We'll call this David Defeats Goliath. It's in my picture section. Now, I'll delete this by hitting backspace. Let's say I wanted to put it in here rather than pasting it in. I will go to insert where I found the text box before, but this is an image. So we're going to upload it from our computer because I saved it. You also have the option to search the web if you have anything saved in your drive, or if you have just a website link, you can use it there. We're going to upload it from our computer. I'm going to go to pictures, and here it is. David defeats Goliath. We're going to open it. Okay. Oh, it looks like it's an unsupported image. Well, the good thing is we're going to dismiss that. It accepted the copied image, so we're going to just do that instead. So there's always some solutions that we can work our way around, and we can still make it look as good as possible. So we've got our image of David and Goliath. We could even make it really cool here. So I'm going to show you how to manipulate a picture. If you don't like it, don't like the size, or don't like how it's set up, we can manipulate it. The way that we're going to do that, I'm actually going to do something fun here. We're going to Command C, which is copy. You can right click it, but I like to just use my hotkeys. Command V, that's going to copy both of them. Okay, and what I will do, I'm actually going to crop it so that I only have Goliath on one side. So I'm going to hit this crop button here, crop image. Remember, if you ever forget what one of these images are, just highlight over it for a moment and it'll tell you exactly what it is. So we have crop image. I clicked on it and it shows you these little bars. We're going to slide these bars so that I only see Goliath. I'm going to slide it, make it nice and neat. Maybe I'll shrink this just a little bit too. And then when I'm done, I think I've got it. You can see the faded area is what's going to get deleted. The highlighted area is what is not. So I'm going to just click outside of it and that's what it leaves me with. So maybe I put Goliath on this side. Then same image, crop. And I'm going to grab those little black pieces there. Now I've got my small image of David because he is smaller by a long shot. Bill, what's the size difference?
About 4 or 5 feet.
So now we have David on one side slinging his rocks at Goliath on the other. So you can manipulate this in any way that you want. You could even put it in the background of this lettering if you'd like. If you make it huge, oh no, it's in front. So now we have to actually change what is in front and what we're seeing and what is behind. So in order to do that, your safety net of everything that you do here, if you're not sure of how to change something, right click whatever you want to change. If I want to change the image, the text, whatever it is, right click it, and usually your answer will be hidden here. So I want to change the order of things. That word's going to be right here. We're going to change the order. If I want to take, right now, Goliath is in the front of all my text. I want to throw him in the background behind my words. So I'm going to send it all the way to the back. If you only want to send it a little bit back, if you have a lot of images or you have a lot of text and you only want to send it back one more thing, you can just do send backwards and it'll send it behind one piece. But I want to send it all the way to the back, so we're going to hit send to back. Oh, but notice we've got a little extra bar here, so now we can make some adjustments. Instead of a white background, I believe we made this white. Yes, there's the check mark. Let's make it transparent. So then now that it's in front, and then we have David. So if we bring him here, he's in the front. We want him in the back as well. So we're going to, again, right click, change the order, send to back. So it's going to send it all the way to the back. And now that we've manipulated this picture a little bit more, we can see that maybe it's not lining up with our text that we want, and we want to maybe change our text. Again, you can do that all from the top bar here, but we can manipulate that a little bit later. We just want to get that image in. Okay, so one of the final points I want to bring up, one of the basic features that I really enjoy out of Google Slides is the ability to add any video that you want. Because Google owns YouTube as well, it has the ability to search anything that it wants via YouTube. So to the same point, the same way that we inserted a text box, the same way that we inserted an image, we are able to click insert. Then we're going to add a video. The first option it gives you is YouTube. So if you already have a really good YouTube that you like, a good YouTube link of, say, David and Goliath, or somebody explaining the history of it, you can just paste it in there, or you can click by URL and you paste it in there and it'll likely find it. If you have a video that's already on Google Drive, you can just already search your Google Drive. But I don't. So I just want to go on YouTube and I could simply search David and Goliath. What I'll find is all these different ones. Let's say, oh, I've seen this one, the Bible, David and Goliath. I want to use this one. I'm just going to click it, select, and now that video is a part of my presentation. So I can use this video either on click, or I can use this video as I progress going forward. So, okay. So that is how to insert a video. Now, finally, with the video itself, if we don't want the video to start where it starts in the very, very beginning, we can actually change where it starts at. So you see on the right side, you can manipulate it in any way that you want. If I want it to start, I think it's a great part at 10 seconds in. You can change that to start at 10 seconds. And then if you say, I only want to show the first minute, we'll end it at 60 seconds. But 0, 60. So that's where it's going to end. So now it's able to, when I click on it, I needed to save that. That's the key. We got to save that video. So it's going to start at 10, and we're going to end it at 1 minute. So now it's saved. We got it locked in. Boom, 1 minute. There it is. So now whenever we're ready to go into this video, if we want to present, for example, go up to slideshow. Now it's going to show our slideshow. You see we've made these pictures, and we'll have to make adjustments to this text. But now we have here, if I just click, it's going to play the video. It's going to start, notice 10 seconds in, and then by the time it gets to 1 minute, it would end up stopping the film. It would end up stopping it and going to the next slide. So that's what you're looking to do with regards to the video. All I have to do is hit escape on my keyboard, and that's going to bring me back to the editor. Okay. All right. So that seems like it is pretty much everything we wanted to hit for this introduction to Google Slides, along with Mr. Bill Geating. What I'm going to do for the next video that I create is that we are just going to go through this particular slideshow. We're going to work on it together. And while we are doing that, if there are any points that come up between us, we'll create a brand new video for you. And I will obviously title that video with regards to the type of tools and tips that I provide to Bill. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today.